Let's just talk about Donald Trump now. So an appeals court has rejected Trump's immunity claim in a federal election interference case. Just going to give a bit of context here. So a 3-judge panel of appeals court judges issued their ruling today. Okay. The former president's lawyers argue that he enjoys sweeping legal protections for actions taken in office. It's the second time judges have now ruled that he does not have immunity. What do you make of this? I mean, we hear a lot about warfare, don't we? But is this lawfare against Trump now?
This is certainly lawfare, and they're just going to get him any way they can. Nobody should be surprised by the outcome of any of these cases. The Democrats have been partnering with the law enforcement arm of the United States government, all the way up to the DOJ and the FBI, since before Trump got into office. Let's not forget, the FBI and the DOJ colluded with Democrats to cook up a bunch of fake information with a fake dossier to illegally spy on the Trump campaign. And then once Trump managed to get elected, despite their best efforts, they were able to use that same fake information cooked up with partisan Democrats to undermine Trump's administration. Then they impeached him at one time for nothing. Then they impeached him a second time for nothing because they failed to get a conviction the first time. And so you've got to give Democrats credit for never giving up. They just keep pushing and pushing. So they went after Trump in New York because he apparently met a gossip columnist in a department store 30 years ago. Seems a little dubious to me, but they went after him there for that. They went after him in Georgia for making a phone call to the Secretary of State during an election that was very clearly rigged, if not outright stolen. And then they went out to Washington, D.C. because Donald Trump supposedly created an insurrection for questioning the results of the election just years after Hillary Clinton refused to accept the results of her own loss in an election, and as Stacey Abrams was still pretending to be the governor of Georgia. And then finally they're going after him for having classified information, which every president in modern history before Donald Trump has done, which Joe Biden has done in a far more egregious way with a drug addict in his home who was peddling American influence to our enemies overseas. None of that matters. If you try to apply logic or reason to these Trump prosecutions, you're going to come up short. We have to recognize it's not a prosecution, but a persecution. The verdict is already in. Trump is guilty, and they have to ostracize him to St. Helena. Now they're just trying to backfill the explanation.
You raise a good point there, which is I think that the pro-Biden lot should be very, very careful what they wish for here. Because if Trump doesn't have immunity, then Biden won't have immunity for anything. The invasion of the border, letting in terrorists. You mentioned a couple of things there about classified documents. I mean, can you imagine them going after Biden in this way? Presumably it's only a matter of time before they're calling for him to be locked up. Oh no, wait. Of course they won't do that because he's not Orange Man bad.
That's the problem. You know, if we could really count on what's good for the goose being good for the gander, then I think everyone would be a lot more polite. But the liberals know that they control every major institution in the United States, increasingly even including the military, which previously was a conservative holdout. So they have no fear whatsoever. I mean, if you look right now, the House Republicans are trying to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas because he's opened up the border and is ignoring the laws. Now, if Donald Trump can be indicted or impeached rather over nothing, over maladministration, which is basically what they went after him for, even though he had the best administration of anyone in my lifetime, surely we can go after Alejandro Mayorkas. But they just know that they're going to be playing by a different set of rules. And so they're not concerned that the consequences of their own actions will ever revisit them.